work for CBS Radio, so we're really happy to have an industry professional on board, and that's what we need is for the other industries to join us, not just activists trying to do it all by themselves. People are 100% all the time after this. And the other thing I'd like to say about the SAFER/OU ads is that we really do like using the SAFER to get people's attention by comparing the differences between cannabis and alcohol and making those political statements. It really is good for catching people's ear, and then we hit them with the Oakland University stuff right after that. All right, with that, we're ready for the grandfather. Well, maybe that makes me sound too old. The Godfather, there you go. Medical marijuana, definitely my other hero. I was in Texas in the early 90s when I heard about this crazy place in San Francisco called the San Francisco Cannabis Buyers Club, and they were basically openly defying the federal government and state law at the time, because you got to remember this was before 215, and so they were not only had to worry about the DEA, but a real jerk by the name of Dan Lundgren, who was the Attorney General at the time. And so I'd like to let Dennis tell you about those early days and how he was able to get things going when 2 out of 3 governments were against him. Now we have 2 out of 3 on our side. But back then they were really standing up and paving the way for all of us. They are the founder of the dispensaries, and so yeah, with that, Dennis Peron.
Thank you very much. Let's commend Richard for actually putting a new spin on marijuana. I mean, university. We're actually going to the university now. And I'm a professor. I can't believe it. I kind of get a chuckle out of the ad. I don't know, because an ad for marijuana. Here, buy it here. No, well, my idea about marijuana is smoke it now, we'll get you laid. Just like alcohol. And that's the ads I want to see is smoke now is better for you. It's good for you. And someday that will happen. But right now, to me, marijuana is still a cause. And it's an industry I know, always has been. It was kind of an underground industry. And I brought into the surface what was already going on. I mean, I was the first cannabis buyers club. And one time I was the only show in town. And at first it started out with one person. And I remember the first person, I signed up to join the club. And I said, geez, Dennis, you're selling marijuana to a total stranger that says he has HIV. And I said, well, this is going to be a wild trip. I knew that. And then it was 5. And then it was 50. And then in the end, it was 10,000 and more. And it was I could hear them coming to me at night. I first started out in a little small place. It was a studio apartment. And then I got to do a bigger place. And then, in the end, I got a 5-story, I called it a 5-story felony, on Market Street, right there in front of everybody. And we got a lot of publicity. I didn't have to take out ads. But I was transparent about everything. I figured, I'm going to let everyone know what we're doing here. And I wanted to change the face of marijuana. And the face of marijuana previously, and you ask people what marijuana is, they think marijuana is alcohol. I mean, people that don't smoke, they're like us, they think marijuana is alcohol. But it's not. And they think of people that smoke marijuana as hippies, which some of them are, like me. But the face of marijuana has always been this radical kind of crazy person in the 60s. But it never really was. It was at one point. But it's gone mainstream. And the face of marijuana is basically the face of everybody. Regular people. I put a new face on it. It was the face of sick people. People that needed our help and needed marijuana. The marijuana has always been a medicine. I mean, I didn't invent it. It's been around for ages, centuries. They found it in the tombs of the Pharaoh. They weren't really smoking pot in Prehistoric War or anything like that, growing their hair long, wearing raggy clothes. No, they were using it as medicine. And in a way, the hippies, they're great people, but they gave us a lot of cultural raps, a lot of cultural baggage. And they wanted a whole way of life. I'm one of those people. I don't just want marijuana, I wanted everything. In the 60s, we wanted everything. We wanted the end of racism, sexism, greed. We wanted the end of materialism. And that was very frightening to America. And the materialism, well, all these guys, they just threw their hand up and said, I don't want to talk to you. And in the end, we got all the things, little bit by little bit. The end of racism, so what, civil rights, end of sexism, gay people have some rights, and a lot of things that happened in the 60s. But marijuana has always been pushed to the side. And I've always been the one that says, hey, marijuana out. Not now, Dennis, not now. We're doing this. And basically, we've always had to wait. We've had to wait to the back of the bus. And even had some people in the drug policy foundations, not particularly ones, that say, Dennis, you guys can smoke marijuana, but what about these addicts? They can't stop. They can't. I said, okay, wait a second. They're just saying to me, because I've got to wait till heroin gets legal before marijuana gets legal. I'm not going to do that. I believe if we get marijuana legal, we'll have less addicts. I believe if we get marijuana legal, we'll have less pain in this country. And these wars are ripping apart this country. I mean, little by little. And all these other drugs, heroin, they all have a legal substitute. In the pharmacopoeia of morphine, whatever, they all have a substitute. Only thing they don't have a substitute for is marijuana. They say Marinol. We all know this, that focus. It's just one little part of it, put it in a pill and say, here you have marijuana. Tell it to give it to a red cheese cancer patient. Take this, you have marijuana. Everyone knows it's not it. It's the only thing we really don't have a substitute for. And that's the one thing they focus on. And they built this whole army of people against us. And they did their lies, reefer madness, everything. And what we did in the 90s, early 90s, basically the AIDS epidemic met medical marijuana. We changed the face of marijuana. And I put myself in front of a train, going 100 miles an hour. I said, look, you can do what you want to me, but you're not going to stop these people. These people are using it, they have nothing to lose. They are dying. And many people from the Cannabis Club, I review all the old tapes, they're really not with us anymore. And these people had nothing to lose. They were very brave people. And brave as I was, they said, Dennis, you do this for us, we're going to do for you. And there was a time where, in the 60s, we said, turn ourselves in, at least turn ourselves in. Arrest us all. We'd have smoking, we'd go to the police station, arrest us all. They never would, because they can't. It's like the Discovery movie, you see the animals, the lions see the wildebeest, there's thousands of wildebeest. And they go, oh man, I gotta get one. And they start a stampede, they get the one wildebeest, and everyone looks back and oh, they got Joe, and they keep going. That's how they do with marijuana works. They get the one on the outside, the one that tries to stick out, they get him, and they try to intimidate us to stop smoking marijuana by getting this one guy. But they thought it wasn't going to work with the Cannabis Club. They were going to come for me. They were going to get all these people. Because all these people are willing to go to jail for me, for the truth, for the cause. And it still is the cause. Prop 215 was not the end of the war on drugs. It was not the end of the war on marijuana. It was the beginning of the end of the war on marijuana. We kind of learned. I'm very proud to have been your servant. I feel I'm a servant of marijuana. I love marijuana. It has been my psychiatrist. It has been my first lover. It's always been the one that tells me the right way to go. Whenever I'm in doubt which way to go, I smoke a joint, and I see more clearly what I have to do. And I think everyone that smokes marijuana, in a way, we're the smartest people in America. We're the most loving, gentle people in this country. And we are the ones that are going to pull this country out of being a bully, being thugs, acting like thugs. We're the ones that are going to be the conscience of America. We are, in a way, gifted people. Because marijuana has made us smarter. It's made us see clearly the country we want, the people we want. And when I get the advertisement, if I'm going to do advertisement, I'm going to say, look, this drug can save you. It change the world. And it will help you achieve your goals. And I think I started smoking at 17. This is pretty good stuff. I think I'll try it occasionally. I didn't know it was going to turn into a lifelong cause. But I'm glad it did, because it's made me stronger.